William E. Connolly's The Terms of Political Discourse, Language, Politics, and Rhetoric, first published in 1974, revised in 1983, is a foundational work in political theory and philosophy, particularly in the study of political language, discourse analysis, and the relationship between rhetoric and politics. Connolly, an American political theorist, explores how language not only reflects political realities, but also actively shapes and constructs them. The book is widely regarded as a pioneering examination of political discourse, emphasizing the performative and constitutive role of language in politics. This analysis will examine Connolly's main arguments, theoretical framework, influence, and enduring significance in political thought. At the heart of Connolly's work is the notion that political discourse is not merely a neutral vehicle for communicating ideas, but is deeply embedded with power dynamics, cultural meanings, and ideological positions. Political language, in this sense, is constitutive. It helps produce and organize social and political realities rather than simply describing them. Connolly challenges the traditional view that politics can be understood solely through empirical observation of institutions or policies, arguing instead that language shapes our understanding of political possibilities and constraints. By studying political rhetoric, one can uncover the assumptions, anxieties, and values that underpin political life. Connolly situates his study of political discourse within the broader context of contemporary philosophy, particularly drawing on post-structuralist insights regarding language and meaning. He engages with the works of Ludwig Wittgenstein, J.L. Austin, and Michel Foucault, among others, to explore how words, phrases, and rhetorical forms carry power and significance. For instance, Connolly emphasizes the performative nature of political language. Just as utterances in ordinary speech acts can perform actions, as Austin's speech act theory suggests, political statements can enact authority, mobilize publics, and shape collective identity. Through rhetorical strategies, politicians, activists, and public intellectuals construct political realities that influence how citizens perceive the world, evaluate policies, and engage in civic life. A central contribution of the terms of political discourse is Connolly's analysis of political semantics. He examines how words acquire specific political valences and how these meanings are contested in public debate. Terms such as freedom, democracy, justice, or equality are not fixed. They carry multiple interpretations depending on historical context, ideological framework, and the interests of particular actors. Connolly's attention to semantic ambiguity highlights the contested and contingent nature of political meaning, demonstrating that struggles over language are inseparable from struggles over power. In doing so, he anticipates later developments in critical discourse analysis and the study of ideology in political science. Connolly also introduces the concept of the semantic field of politics, referring to the network of associations and meanings that surround key political terms. Each term is embedded in a web of cultural, moral, and emotional connotations that guide how it is understood and deployed. For example, the term freedom might evoke liberty from state control, economic opportunity, or personal autonomy, depending on the speaker, audience, and context. By analyzing these semantic fields, Connolly reveals how language functions as a medium of both persuasion and governance, subtly shaping political attitudes and expectations. Another key dimension of Connolly's work is his focus on the rhetorical strategies that structure political discourse. He identifies patterns of argument, narrative, and metaphor that recur across different political settings and historical periods. Rhetoric, in this framework, is not mere ornamentation. It is the means through which political realities are produced and maintained. Connolly examines how rhetorical devices such as framing, storytelling, and the use of symbolic language can legitimize authority, mobilize constituencies, or marginalize dissenting voices. His work underscores the inseparability of language and power, showing that the struggle over words is also a struggle over political legitimacy. Importantly, Connolly is attentive to the ethical and normative dimensions of political discourse. While he highlights the power of language to shape political reality, he also warns of the dangers of manipulative or exclusionary rhetoric. Language can foster understanding and solidarity, but it can also be used to stigmatize, demonize, or silence certain groups. In this sense, The Terms of Political Discourse serves both as an analytic and a critical work, offering tools for understanding the political significance of language while encouraging a reflective and responsible approach to its use. Connolly's methodology in the book is interdisciplinary, combining insights from political theory, philosophy, linguistics, and rhetorical studies. He blends close textual analysis with broader theoretical reflection, examining speeches, writings, and public debates to illustrate his arguments. This approach allows him to link abstract philosophical ideas about language and meaning with concrete political phenomena, demonstrating the real-world relevance of theoretical inquiry. One of the strengths of Connolly's work is its anticipation of subsequent developments in political theory, particularly in the study of deliberative democracy, identity politics, and post-structuralist approaches to politics. By emphasizing the performative and contested nature of political language, Connolly prefigures debates about the role of discourse in shaping democratic participation and social justice. His insights are particularly relevant in contemporary contexts, where media, digital communication, and political marketing increasingly mediate public understanding and engagement. The book remains influential for scholars interested in the intersections of language, power, and politics, offering a sophisticated framework for analyzing the rhetorical dimensions of governance and public life. In addition to its theoretical contributions, the Terms of Political Discourse has had practical implications for political practice and civic engagement. Connolly's emphasis on the contingency and contestation of meaning encourages critical literacy, enabling citizens to recognize how political language frames issues and influences perceptions. This approach fosters more reflective and participatory forms of political engagement, equipping individuals to navigate the complexities of public discourse with awareness of its rhetorical and ethical dimensions. In a world where political communication is increasingly mediated by sound bites, social media, and mass messaging, Connolly's work remains remarkably prescient, highlighting the enduring importance of analyzing the language of politics. Connolly also explores the relationship between political discourse and ideology. He argues that ideologies are not merely sets of beliefs, but are also expressed and reinforced through language. By analyzing political terms and rhetorical strategies, one can uncover the underlying assumptions, values, and power structures embedded in ideological frameworks. This approach allows scholars to investigate how political commitments are maintained, contested, or transformed over time. In particular, Connolly emphasizes the dynamic interaction between language and political culture, showing how shifts in discourse can signal broader social and political change. Another notable aspect of Connolly's work is his attention to the pluralistic and contested nature of political life. He resists reductionist or essentialist accounts of politics, instead highlighting the diversity of perspectives, interests, and interpretations that characterize democratic societies. Political discourse, in Connolly's view, is a site of negotiation and contestation, where different actors vie to define reality, assert authority, and mobilize support. This pluralistic sensibility aligns with broader currents in contemporary political theory, including deliberative and agonistic approaches to democracy, which emphasize dialogue, contestation, and the recognition of difference. In conclusion, William E. Connolly's The Terms of Political Discourse is a landmark study of political language and rhetoric, offering a sophisticated analysis of how words shape and constitute political realities. By focusing on the performative, semantic, and rhetorical dimensions of discourse, Connolly provides a framework for understanding the intricate interplay between language, power, and politics. His work underscores the ethical and political significance of language, highlighting both its potential for inclusion and its capacity for exclusion or manipulation. Through his interdisciplinary and theoretically rich approach, Connolly anticipates contemporary debates about discourse, ideology, and democratic participation, demonstrating the enduring relevance of careful analysis of political language. For students, scholars, and practitioners of political theory, The Terms of Political Discourse remains an essential resource for understanding how language mediates political life and shapes the possibilities of governance, justice, and civic engagement.